Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the Chopping Block podcast. My name is Paddy Stapleton, and every week I sit down with a different guest for a chat about food. Some of my guests make their living in the food and drinks trade, while some just love food. I chat to someone new every week, exploring a little bit of their lives through food. Some of my guests you may have heard of before, some you definitely won't know, but what unites all these people are the stories they have to tell about the role food and drink plays in their lives. So sit back, put your feet up, get a pot of tea on the go, and enjoy this episode of the Chopping Block. My guest this week has taken her love of food to a whole other level, going so far as to completely change careers to work with something she loves: food. After graduating from college with a degree in business and Spanish, she worked in the financial services for 8 years before leaving it all behind to set up her own company, Lifeforce Nutrition. Her consultations aim to make her clients' lives that bit better through their diet, helping with issues like weight gain, weight loss, stress management, food intolerances, and even stress and anxiety. She also works with One-to-One Fitness Gym in her hometown of Navan, where she's given dietary advice and food plans to thousands of people who all signed up to help get their health back on track. Joanne Gribbin, welcome to the pod, and thanks for sitting down with me.
Thank you, Paddy. Thanks for asking me.
No problem. Let's start then. We'll get 20 either-or questions.
Yep.
These are just to help us learn a little bit about you. You can interpret them any way you want, go into detail, you can take your time with them, entirely up to you. Okay. And hopefully by the end we'll have a little flavour of what you taste.
Okay.
So, breakfast or lunch?
Breakfast.
Potatoes or sweet potatoes?
Sweet potatoes. It depends on the mood.
Yeah,
but I love the spuds. Potatoes are my favourite.
Dinner with friends or dinner with family?
Oh, yes. That's a tough one.
Because you know they'll all be listening.
Yeah. Dinner with family. Dinner with family, yeah. Because I miss so much of it over COVID.
Good answer. Green tea or peppermint tea?
Green tea.
Brioche or bagel?
Depends on the topping, I guess. But probably a bagel.
Okay. Knife and fork or fingers?
Again, depends on the food. But knife and fork.
Okay. Nut butter or coconut oil?
Nut butter.
Romantic dinner for two or couples night out?
Romantic dinner for two.
Pint of Guinness or glass of Guinness?
Glass of Guinness.
Milk or dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Broccoli or asparagus?
Broccoli.
Butter or olive oil?
Butter.
Beans or lentils?
Lentils.
Malbec or Merlot?
Malbec.
I already know you drink red wine, so I didn't want to put in red or white.
Yeah.
Cod or salmon?
Salmon.
Still or sparkling?
Sparkling.
Couscous or quinoa?
Quinoa.
Tequila or sambuca?
Tequila, always.
Maple syrup or honey?
Honey.
And is a Jaffa cake a cake or is it a biscuit?
It's technically a cake, is that right?
It's your answer.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Very good. So I threw in some of the healthy stuff in there just to see.
Just throwing.
Yeah. Maple syrup or honey is interesting. I know you use maple syrup in your recipes.
I do, because the reason I do that is because some people follow FODMAPs, or they need to have lower FODMAPs in their diet. So honey for some people is not digested very well.
What is a FODMAP?
FODMAP is that's a tough one. They're basically sugars from different types of foods that the digestive system struggles to digest.
I love food, but I probably love not the wrong kinds of food. I know that's wrong to say. I don't take enough care in what I eat.
Okay.
So it's good to get someone like yourself, who I've had a little bit of experience with before. We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But to talk about your life with food, to see how it affects you. So let's start then with your business, Lifeforce Nutrition, set up in 2012.
2012.
And you worked in the financial services before that?
Yes. So I worked in, as you said, I graduated from college with a BA in Business Studies and Spanish. So I went naturally into kind of financial services. Not that I wished to work in financial services.
Does anybody wish to work in financial services?
I just basically stumbled in the door. There I was. So I worked in Dublin. Then I worked in Navan as well, beyond Mermelin in Navan. I worked when I was in Australia in that industry as well. And it was actually in Australia where that lifestyle, that kind of healthy fitness lifestyle kind of struck a chord to me. And I was like, I really like this. I like how this makes me feel. And I suppose there I started looking more at what I ate because the diversity of food is brilliant over there. You could get anything. You could get, sushi on the street. There was loads of like juice bars before they were here. And I know that sounds crazy, but like it was.
No, it's not like Ireland where your takeaway options are fish
yeah,
chips,
exactly,
pizza, yeah.
exactly, yeah. So like there was just the variety of stuff was so different. So I kind of just started gravitating towards that. Like I was always loved food and always liked healthy food, actually, as it happens. But over there I was like, this is something that I'm really interested in. So then we came home, and so I started working where at that point I was working, I think, in Navan at that point, and then I found the Institute of Health Sciences, which is a private college, but they do nutrition qualifications, and I studied with them for 4 years then. And then when in 2012 I finished with them, but it was like in the thick of the recession as well, so there was
so you're working and studying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a voluntary redundancy with BNY Mellon, so I decided to take that and set up Lifeforce Nutrition.
Was it scary doing that?
Yes, absolutely. Planked it.
And what gave you the kick? Was it just, I have to do this now or I'll never do it?
It was now or never. It was like, I can go and stay in this kind of industry that is like so unfulfilling, and it wasn't for me. It kind of really sapped my energy.
Yeah.
You know, it made me like, I didn't enjoy my job, like, and I didn't want to constantly be like not enjoying my job forever.
Is it a dog-eat-dog kind of world, the financial services, or is that just something I see in movies?
Yeah, like it's not like the stock exchange. It's so boring. It would be great if it was. It definitely is not. It's very male dominated, definitely. Everybody, not everybody, but like obviously as normal, the majority of the managerial positions are held by men. And certainly that was the case there.
Yeah, and you didn't fancy sticking around trying
I
to change
didn't
that?
fancy sticking around, so I said, like, I could have moved to the office in Dublin, and probably there would have been more opportunities there if I wanted to stay in that industry, but I just didn't.
So redundancy was an opportunity for you?
Yeah, it was an opportunity for me to do what I really wanted to do, so I took it.
Very good.
Yeah, so
how did you go about setting up Lifeforce Nutrition?
I went on to the company's registration of the website, and came to me one day as normal as the best ideas come to people in the shower. And I was like, ding, I'm going.
And did you have a plan for the business? Did you start any business courses, or was your background in the finance, was that enough for it?
Well, I did actually do like a set up your own business course whilst, like, after I was made redundant. So I kind of messed around with that for a little while. And now I won't pretend to be the best businesswoman in the world. I'm absolutely not. I do leave my financial accounts till the last minute. Yeah, all of the time,
like
every year.
Many a small business owner.
Yeah. So yes, like, you know, I suppose from after studying business studies and all that kind of thing, you do have a little bit of an idea. And I know how to do my accounts and stuff properly, but I don't do the returns.
And you're a one-woman show?
Yes.
Is that refreshing? Is it nice to not have to worry about
the
boss or the...
Yeah, like, I mean, it is. I do work for myself, like, but at the same time I do have other things going on, so like I'm not entirely by myself, you know, that way. So but it is nice to be in control of it.
Yeah, take a day off. You need to not have to ring in sick to yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. So,
but that comes with the other side of things where you never fully switch off.
Yeah.
You know, so there is a balance.
Are you getting messages at all hours of the day now?
Yeah, like, absolutely. And sometimes you're happy to get back to people or respond, and then other days you're like, I just can't.
Piss off.
I can't do this right now.
I might edit that without telling customers to piss off. So, in your business now, what's the most common, I don't want to say problems, what's the most common issues that you deal with?
It really is a mixed bag. You know, some people will come in with just bad energy, feeling tired all the time. Anxiety, stress at the moment is a huge thing. I do see a lot of athletes, which is great because I'm really passionate about sports nutrition.
Yeah.
And so that's always really interesting. I do see a lot of people with a lot of digestive issues. So, you know, they're not digesting their foods right, or they feel very bloated after a particular meal, or constantly have kind of digestive problems all of the time. So yeah, it really is a mixed bag. It means though that, you know, everybody is different.
Yeah.
And I get a huge amount of satisfaction because I'll see somebody again in about 4 to 6 weeks, and they can be completely different people walking back in the door.
Really?
Yeah. Like
that, you'd notice the difference?
Yeah, yeah.
And is it hard for people to make that first step of coming to you? I mean, there's so many different things out there that get a bad rap where they tell you, eat these 5 things, don't eat these 5 things.
Yeah.
Quacks.
Yeah.
Really. And like,
yes.
And as a nutritionist, a qualified nutritionist, do you rail against that or struggle against that? Do people label you that way?
No, I've never been labelled that way. But I suppose my thoughts really is balance. So like, I don't say to somebody or to everybody, you should eat this, you should eat that. It's very, very individual, and nutrition should always be personalized to the person. And what works for you, like, might not work for the next person, but also what works for you right now might not work for you in 2 years' time.
Okay.
So you kind of have to constantly roll with it, and our bodies are constantly changing. And we're always in different circumstances. You know, 1 week you can be really stressed, and then another week you could be not. One month you could be extremely physically active, another month you maybe not. So all of those things then, I suppose, will impact your health in different ways.
I would imagine as well, though, if you were telling people all the time, don't do this, you wouldn't have many clients.
No, yeah, absolutely. But I'll tell you, the one thing that I do say to people is the excess intake of excess sugar, added sugars in foods. So like, you know, constantly having, say, like biscuits for snacks, or always having a pastry every single day, that kind of stuff. Like those kind of foods, unless your metabolism is really, really good.
One of those annoying people.
Yeah. Or you're like an athlete or something, and you're really, really burning this kind of food off. And even if you are an athlete, actually, that kind of constant eating of sugar will affect your energy levels anyway. But they're the kind of things I would say to people for the majority of, I suppose, the population to limit. Yeah. And like things like McDonald's, you know.
Yeah, no, you don't want to say that, but yeah.
Yeah, but it is about balance. I mean, I'll eat a pastry. I love an almond croissant. Like, I love it. And I'm not going to never have it. Yeah. Yeah. You know, so
what's the point if you can't enjoy it?
Exactly. It's about balance always, like 80-20.
I find the older I get, the more I pick and choose what I have.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be more likely to have that
pick your battles slightly.
Yeah, I'd be more likely to have that lovely almond croissant than to have a brunch ice cream.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I would love as well. Even though I love my food, I do like sweet, sugary things as well. Do you find people are using food as a crutch or as a substitute? I mean, we're living in a time of COVID, everybody's stressed.
Yes.
I mean, I know over the summer I baked a lot more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I was eating when I was baking, but at the same time, it gave us a bit of time to get on track with our eating as well.
Totally.
So because I was off for 3 months, I was able to cook proper food all day.
Yes.
Is that something you found?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think for a lot of people I'm seeing at the moment, people will say that they maybe developed some bad habits over the lockdown.
And was that just because they had time, or was it stress? Stress
induced generally. I think for some people it was alcohol. Like I know I drank more alcohol during lockdown. Like I pulled it back again, thankfully. But and as well, same as that, I baked more. I tried my hand at sourdough a few times.
You were one of those people on Instagram?
Yeah. No, I don't. Did I post sourdough? I don't think it was that good. So I was like, no, I'm not putting that on Instagram.
But at least it wasn't like, you know, sugary treats. Like
Yeah, like, I mean, I do bake cakes as well, you know, but like not every day or every week. But yeah, like everybody went through a hard time in COVID, just the stress of it. And I think people not having control over their own lives and their own situations, that can be really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
Like you can't go outside, you can't go and visit your friends, you can't go and see this person and that person that you really want to see. I think that was really hard for me.
So as a reward, I'm going to have a glass of wine because I'm not going to.
Exactly.
Next thing the glass turns into the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You were saying earlier on, like stress. Would stress affect your digestive?
Yeah.
What digestive?
Function.
I was going to say digestive biscuits.
Yeah. Well, it might affect those going into your mouth, like.
But it would affect your digestive function in different ways.
Yeah.
So foods that you would normally eat if you weren't stressed would be tougher if you're stressed.
Yeah. So, if you're like, I suppose there's different levels of stress. That we have this kind of acute stress, you know, where you might get a fright and your heart beats, and and when that happens, our adrenaline kind of is pumping, and the blood flow is kind of, I suppose, shunted away from the digestive system.
Okay.
And say like if someone's engaging in like kind of intense exercise, or people like that are engaged in like endurance exercise, like marathon running, they might find then that the stress that their body is under, the physical stress that their body is under, causes issues with their digestive system.
So the body nearly reroute the power away from the digestive system.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And then I suppose chronic stress, where it's kind of, it goes over that maybe couple of hours of stress, or that acute stress period, then that can affect your digestion in so far as like you start to feel bloated all the time. Your digestive function in the stomach is not adequate. Like the enzymes and stuff are in the smaller intestines are not as, I suppose, efficient as they should be. The acid in our stomach should be really, really acidic,
to break everything down.
Without being overly acidic. There is a balance there as well. And some people can get reflux, they get an overproduction of acid, and then other people don't have enough of it. So it can affect people in loads of different ways, and it's not like one for all. There's no.
So you have to analyze every individual.
And especially their situation and the things that have led up to somebody coming in to see me. So
it's a bit of your job psychological.
There is a bit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff can be unearthed,
I can imagine.
It brings up things.
We all eat and drink for different reasons.
Yeah.
So you're a nutritionist and psychologist.
No one like that.
No, I know, but it comes into it. Would you have actually covered that when you were studying?
There'd be a certain amount of it, and then afterwards I did NLP, like neuro-linguistic programming, and coaching, like wellness and health coaching.
Okay.
So kind of communications and how to, I suppose, interview people as such.
Yeah.
That.
Any advice you can give me is appreciated.
No problem.
So, and do you ever have to? I mean, are there people who will come to you but they won't listen? I mean, are there...
well, to be fair, most people who walk in the door want to be there.
Okay.
They've booked the appointment themselves. Now, I have had clients before where they're like, my mother was telling me to come, and that kind of thing, and they're like, I'm just here. But no, to be fair, definitely the majority are there because they're a lot of people are just sick of feeling crap. And
are they prepared to listen?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 100%.
And are there things that you tell them that they don't want to hear? I mean, how do they react to it? If you tell them, look, you need to cut this out, and they think they can't, how do you get over that barrier?
Well, it's a negotiation, basically. Yeah. So if someone, I will, I suppose, outline how I see the situation and what I would like to do here, and then I'll say, it's up to you. We can kind of do it all at once, go full throttle, or we can just go bit by bit, take one healthy habit, do it really well, and then bring in another one in a few weeks and do that really well and take it slowly.
And which is more common?
What I find men want to do
it all at the one time. Yeah, I would
full throttle. And women, not all women, but most women are like, they want to do it at a slower pace because they feel, I think a lot of women feel, if they do it all at once, they're more likely to fail with it. And because sometimes that's happened before, they don't want to do it again. Whereas
with men, they think if they do it all together, so it'll be
fixed. Done quick.
You said there that you enjoy working with sports, with athletes. Yeah. I mean, so that's high performance?
Yeah.
And what kind of standard are you working with? Is it varied?
It's varied, yeah. So we'll have like GA players, rugby players.
Individuals or teams?
Both. Teams and individuals. And then runners, a lot of runners, elite runners, like distance runners. Endurance, ultra endurance, that kind of thing. And
they all take on board what you say?
Yeah.
And can they see the difference in their times?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's a good one to have to show to
and
people.
Even in just their recovery and how they're feeling day to day.
And is the recovery as important?
Oh, recovery is the most important.
More important than the prep?
Yes, because it is the prep. Because you're recovering from your last session to prepare for your next one. Okay. Yeah.
It's a good way of
looking at it. It's a cycle, it's a constant cycle.
Yeah.
And if the recovery is not there, the preparation won't be there properly.
And you work with 121 Gym?
Yes.
So I did a course called Beat the Bulge a couple of years ago. I was feeling a little bit bloated, let's say. And it's an 8-week course, and you provide the nutrition advice with it.
Yeah.
So what I enjoyed about it was it was making you do your exercise 3 times a week, and it was good, and it was intense, and I'm lazy. I like being told what to do.
Yeah.
But the nutrition part was something I didn't expect. Mm-hmm. And to have to write down your food diary, do all that, I hated it. Yeah. I hated writing down what I eat. I did. But what I said to myself was, what's the point in doing this if I don't do it properly?
Yeah.
So we still make some of the things in the recipe books you give out. So your granola, for example, is a staple in our house.
Yeah, I love it.
And I rediscovered smoked salmon and brown bread.
Yes.
Like there were other things as well, but the 2 things that stood out for me were the granola and the smoked salmon and brown bread. There's always smoked salmon because it's a guilt-free breakfast, really.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Do you enjoy that? Seeing the change in people? Yes. I mean, people they change their lives up there.
Yeah, 100%. It's brilliant to see. Like, it gives people, I suppose, a focus and getting back into where they want to be. Like, not everybody goes like for weight loss. Like, a lot of people will go for just to get away, get out for an hour 3 times a week to feel better, physically, to feel fitter. There's a lot to be said mental health wise for fitness and going to the gym and having a workout. And even if it's just going for a run or a walk, there's a huge amount to be said for that. But I think from the nutrition side of things, people start to engage more in what they're eating, because they know it's going to affect if it's weight loss they're there for, but also their fitness levels and how they feel then, over the 8 weeks. And they do notice, the change in themselves. And it's brilliant. It's lovely to see it, like people reach their goals.
What I found was, I didn't like writing down what I was doing, but it did make me consider what I was eating. Yeah, and if I felt bad writing it down, I remember saying to myself, well, why are you eating it?
Yeah.
If you know it's bad for you, why? And it's not rocket science, but you need to do something sometimes to do it.
Yeah, it's just an engagement tool. It's not to make anybody feel bad about themselves, but it's just to highlight, okay, so you're doing this Beat the Bulge program, you're paying whatever money for it, you're working out really hard 3 times a week. Why don't you kind of fuel yourself properly and feed yourself properly? And it just makes people more aware and engaged, and I suppose responsible for what they're eating, because you have to write it down.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I know so many people who say it changed their life.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to say a little gym class, a little program, 8 weeks long, for people to say that it literally changed their life and they wouldn't be where they were now without it is amazing. And the food is such a part of that.
Huge.
Could you read between the lines when people were lying about their food diaries?
No, do you know what? Because I do see people in the gym for clinics, for like individual clinics as well. And I know when...
In conjunction with the gym?
Yes, yeah. So like if somebody, say, from Beat the Bulge wants kind of more specific advice for them, I can see them in the gym.
Very good.
And they, like, I'd look over their food diaries, and sometimes it's not just about, food. It can be about digestive systems. It can be about stress. It can be about female hormones as well. Like, they can be out of balance, and it can affect somebody's weight. And and it can be medication as well, so like it's not always cut and dry. Oh, you're not losing enough weight, therefore you must be lying on your food diary. It's not black and white. So you kind of,
there's a lot more to it.
There's a way.
It must be great for the gym and for you to have each other to work off. I mean,
it's great. Definitely.
And I suppose what I liked about it as well was you went up there and it was people of all shapes and sizes. Yeah,
it's great. I think there's a really good atmosphere in one-to-one fitness. Everybody's just there to kind of get on with what they're doing, have a good workout, and feel better about themselves. There's nobody swanning around the place. Like,
I've been in gyms before where I walk in with the pudgy belly and there's these Adonises in the corner in the mirror pulling weights, and I was like, I'm not staying here.
No, there's none of that. Everybody's there just to feel better about themselves, and it works. There's a really nice atmosphere in it.
And your work must be, like, coming out of financial services, which you said was tough, and I imagine it was cold. It must be so rewarding to help people.
Yeah, it is. Like, and as I say, when I just give the instructions, or not instructions, that's the wrong word. I guide people. I give people the tools. I give them the advice. People do it themselves. Like, they put that into action, and like, I get a huge amount of satisfaction when I see people have taken on my advice and they put it into play or whatever. But it's people that change their own lives because they've done that. They've done the thing, You
just have them on their journey for one better way.
Exactly. I just kind of I kind of lead them down the right road. Yeah.
Very good. And lockdown, we spoke about earlier, the stresses and everything. Mm-hmm. You obviously couldn't go meeting people. Did you do online sessions?
I did, yeah.
And did you find you were busier or not as busy?
Definitely not as busy.
Okay.
But since I came back to normal clinics, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I came back in July, I think it was. And I've been really busy since. That's good. But I did them online, and they're grand online. But I like to be in front of people.
I'm the same. I was going to do a couple of these on Zoom, and I was like, I'm not doing it. It's not the same as being face to face.
Yeah, and it's the same. Like all the Zoom calls and quizzes and stuff that happened over lockdown. Yeah. It's lovely to see people's face and hear people's voices, and that's really important. But like, it's not the same as being in their presence.
No, it's not. Sitting down and having a cup of tea together or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And did you find that the pattern when you came back was COVID stress? Or was it normal?
There was some, definitely some, but not all. People just were, they'd had whatever health issue or health concern, and they just wanted to kind of get on top of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And would you ever have to say somebody and say, look, there's something medically wrong with you that I can't diagnose and I have to refer you on to somebody else? Or is it that kind of thing you're dealing with?
Yeah, I suppose, sometimes people will come with an undiagnosed issue.
Okay.
So they might have a digestive problem that they've had all of their they've had all the testing done. It's come back all clear. They've had blood work done. It's come back all clear. So they've already basically been to their GP and consultants, and everything. There's nothing diagnosable as such. So generally, it'll be like, it must be something I'm eating. So that's kind of where I would help out a lot, and it generally is. Once you kind of, it does, you don't always have to do a massive dietary overhaul. It can just be little things. It could be the timing of your food. It can be drinking enough water. Believe it or not,
I do. My wife is always having to drink more water, and it's a big problem I have. I don't get to drink enough water.
It can make a huge difference to your health. So yeah, like usually I'm, I won't say end of the line. That's not the right word. But if someone has like an issue, they'll always go to their doctor first, usually, unless they know it's not medical.
But would there be many who would come to you that you would say, look, you need to go to your doctor?
Unless I'm sending them back to the doctor, if it's, for further testing, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And if you had to give somebody one bit of golden advice, like the general population, you're not tailoring anything, what would be the one health advice you would say, guys, if you do this, things will get that little bit better? Is it drinking water? Is it...
Two things.
Okay.
Drink water.
Yeah, drink water, okay.
Drink more water and eat more vegetables.
Really?
Yeah.
That's simple?
Yeah.
Fruit or vegetables, or both?
Vegetables. A bit of both, but definitely more vegetables. You'll get there's so much to be taken from vegetables. There's loads of fibre, good for your gut. If your gut is good, you're
halfway there.
You're halfway there. Loads of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and iron can be got from spinach, green leafies. Yeah. I'm always talking about green leafy vegetables, but they're really, really key.
Yeah.
So, I think if people ate more vegetables, if half of your dinner plate is vegetables, it doesn't have to be as in like in a stir fry, in a curry, or if you make like bolognese, put loads of vegetables into it.
And would you always encourage fresh, or is frozen good?
Frozen is fine.
Yeah, we'd use a lot of frozen spinach for that.
Yeah, it's perfect. Or I'd use mixed frozen vegetables as well.
So the nutrition value would be the same?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're usually frozen at source, so like the nutrition value is perfect.
So it's so funny. Like, I ask you for two things, and even though I probably know what they are already, you need to be told what they are. Drink water and eat sugar.
And you're going to do that tomorrow, aren't you, Paddy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And when you go out, like with your husband, and you're out and about, and you're out for a dinner and you're treating, do you feel a little bit like people are looking at you? No, like if people know you and have been to you, do you feel like you should order healthy to be seen to be ordering healthy?
Yeah, they're definitely. I can't lie and say that you wouldn't sometimes feel that pressure. But like, to be honest, I've always eaten quite well anyway.
Yeah. So say you and your husband, Hugh, are out and he wants to order a portion of onion rings, and you know that somebody 2 tables away who has been a client of yours, and you've been giving this advice, and next thing he wants to order these lovely, delicious, greasy, big, fat onion rings. Would you say to him, Hugh, maybe not tonight?
No, I would never say that to him, because like, funny enough, Q would never order that. No. He doesn't actually like onion rings.
Chips.
Yeah, like if he didn't, I would never eat. It's up to him what he orders. Like, I don't definitely never tell him what to eat. But he eats really well anyway. I think it's just living with me. Yeah, he does. But he does anyway. Well. Yeah, naturally enough. Like that's how he grew up though too.
Yeah. And well, I suppose you wouldn't be together if you weren't into the same thing.
Yeah.
And if you're out and you're feeling a bit bold, what would be your your treat? What would be your cheese in a restaurant? I mean, would you like the dessert, or would you like the deep fried brie, or would you like?
Yeah, I'd kind of go for more of the savoury stuff. Yeah. I do like the bit of sweet, but like I'd be more into the savoury stuff, to be honest. Anything with cheese in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah, I love a cheese board.
Cheese has been a constant on this podcast.
Yeah.
Everybody
and it doesn't love
cheese.
me, like, so I don't have it that often. I don't really eat dairy.
Okay.
So when I do, I eat butter, but I wouldn't eat I don't eat milk or drink milk I use almond milk or like nut milks.
Yeah.
But I do have a little bit of cheese now and then.
Okay. So cheese is your treat.
Yeah.
And say you're home alone, Hugh is away, and you're on your own and you're cooking for yourself and no one can see what you're eating. What's your comfort food? Is there something you would cook for yourself that's just like winter warmth in a bowl?
If I'm by myself and I'm making a dinner, like a late dinner, I'd probably just make an omelette.
Okay.
I'd fire in a bit of cheese for me.
Good.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Q doesn't like mushrooms, so any opportunity I get to have them,
mushrooms.
I take them.
So your treat is still healthy.
Yeah.
It's a way of life for you now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Very good. It's,
now I do like like sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Love it. I like a nice sliced sourdough bread with loads of butter on it.
Good white bread.
That's a good one. Toasted.
Would you ever eat junk food, or would you ever have a takeaway, or would you? Is there anything that you like?
I love Bunsen burger.
Okay.
If you're
going to go burger, go Bunsen. Yeah.
If you're going to go with a burger, Bunsen deadly cheeseburger, gorgeous. I've recently discovered Yay Burger.
Oh.
And I've had a cheeseburger from there. It's nice as well, but not as good as Bunsen.
Yeah,
sorry.
No, it's hard to match the Bunsen burgers. And family-wise, I mean, are you a family who would get together and eat?
Yeah.
Does food play a big role in that?
Yeah. We always had, growing up, we always had dinner together in the evenings. And since we've kind of been adults, I suppose, and kind of done our own thing, we always have dinner on a Sunday. Mum always makes us dinner. Still. Well, not these days. So we haven't gone back in since COVID, since lockdown.
It's hard to make that step back, isn't it?
Yeah, and also you don't want to be going, Mom, are you making us dinner this week? I'm putting pressure on her.
She's probably loving the holiday.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about Christmas?
Christmas, we would generally kind of alternate it between going to my mum and dad or going to Q's mum and dad. So yeah, that's always lovely. I love Christmas so much.
Do the two families ever get together?
No, because they're too big.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's no place big enough.
How many?
They're in Q's side, he has 5 sisters. One
Wow.
lives in Australia. And then one is in Belfast and one is in Sligo.
So it's hard enough to get them together, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Cater for them all.
And definitely not at Christmas. Everybody's kind of just doing their thing, And then our family, I've an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. And then there's children there now as well. So
partners.
It's kind of,
so you're talking booking at a restaurant if you want to get them together.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a couple of years ago, we did go with Q's family, we went to Carlingford 2 years ago with Q's family, and his sister came home from Australia.
Was this at Christmas?
Yes. So we went there for Christmas Eve and Christmas night, and that was lovely. So we were in a restaurant.
Yeah.
And stayed in the hotel for the 2 nights. It was lovely.
Was it weird coming home to no leftovers though?
Yeah, you see, I never have leftovers in my house because I haven't cooked the turkey yet.
Would you be a turkey house? Would you be turkey and ham?
Yeah.
You'd never bring a sandwich home with you or a bag of stuffing? Or?
No, no.
God.
Yeah, I know.
You are disciplined.
I stay in people's house for too long to actually bring it. No, I overstay my welcome.
And if there was something that you had to pick that you couldn't live without, one ingredient that you love that you just could not face the world without, what would it be?
Garlic.
Garlic, really?
Yeah, I love garlic.
Put it in everything.
Yeah, if it suits it. I've been known to put garlic in beans.
Oh, interesting.
It's very nice. Try
baked
it.
beans or
baked beans.
Garlic and baked beans.
Yeah.
Did you fry it off or something first?
No, just put it in, heat up in the pot.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's lovely. Try it.
Bit of sourdough.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Very good.
I love garlic. Yeah, and I'd put it in everything. But not too much. I don't like it to overpower either. I just love that flavour, but I also, I suppose I love the Mediterranean way of eating as well, and there's always garlic in food, and I love that freshness and herbs and fish and everything.
Good olive oil.
Yeah, good olive oil, it's gorgeous.
And what about the flip side of that, if there was something that you could happily do away with? Sugar, refined sugar.
No, because I think it has its place, actually. I'll tell you one thing that does not have a place in the world are chicken balls.
Oh, there's people who will not agree with that. I know people who love chicken balls.
Oh my god, I hate chicken balls. Even the word chicken balls. Sorry, what?
I'm with you. I'm always wondering what the hell are these things made out of?
And they're not even balls.
No.
It's more shocking, because they're not balls, but it'd be worse if they were.
As in testicles?
No,
you mean the
shape of balls.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it reminds me of it. A pair of balls. So no, I just can't.
Well, I would happily get away with chicken balls. I know when I go to a Chinese, the odd time we go, there's such a great big huge menu, and somebody orders chicken balls. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, no, awful.
Okay, be gone, chicken balls.
Yeah, see you later.
Let's move on a little bit and talk about drink. Let's talk about the demon drink.
The demon drink.
How does alcohol fit in with your life and your business? I mean, you're encouraging people to eat well, to eat healthily, and alcohol, while it has its merit in relaxation and winding down, how do you bring that into your business? Because most people that come to you, I imagine, are drinkers. Yeah,
not everybody actually. I suppose, if if I'm giving someone advice and I think that maybe alcohol is, contributing to how they're feeling or their, symptoms, whether they're physical or mental or whatever, I would make the suggestion maybe to cut it down.
Okay.
But I do believe in balance. Like I drink myself.
Yeah.
I would probably drink most weekends. Not every weekend, but I do like a glass of wine. Especially, and if I'm going out for dinner as well, I definitely have a glass of wine, or if I'm meeting friends, I will. But like, I think it is about balance. I do believe you have to have a number of days alcohol free in a week.
Yeah.
Consecutive.
So what would you recommend? 2, 3, 4, 5?
Alcohol free days.
Yeah.
Definitely at least 3, but I'd say 4 to 5.
Okay.
Again, it'll change. It'll depend on what's going on with somebody as well. Like some people might have loads of nights out in a row, like, or something going on, like a birthday or something, and then nothing for a month. So it really varies a lot. And
do people take well to that? I would imagine the people coming to you know.
They do know, yeah.
They're kind of expecting you to.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll also say, "What do you think?" They'll ask my opinion of it. If I haven't offered it already, I will give them whatever advice. But like, again, it's just about balance, and it's about, if you do have a couple of glasses of wine, just leave it at a couple and not a couple of bottles.
Yeah. Which was the danger during COVID, come back to.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so we don't have to get up in the morning. Why wouldn't we have another bottle of wine?
Exactly.
Do you have a favourite drink? Red wine?
My favourite, alcoholic drink.
Yeah.
I suppose, I would tend to go for red wine, but I'd love a cocktail, margarita. Love them.
Tequila all day long, as you said before. And you a favourite drink that's not alcoholic?
I love
I was going to say, don't say water.
As I take a drink of water. No, not quite. San Pellegrino?
Yeah.
They have
the cans with the orange.
Yeah, the blood orange one. I absolutely love that.
You get it in Chekhov's?
You can get it in Chekhov's. Yeah. You can get it in Marks as well. You can get it in some places. I wouldn't have it often, but when
would you regard that as a fizzy drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like nutritionally bad?
There's not a lot of sugar in it. It's not mad amount of sugar in it.
Like Coke or Fanta or everything.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously there is some. And I don't like fizzy drinks. Like, I'd never have a can of Coke or anything. I just don't like it.
What about with a hangover?
No. I just, I drink sparkling water maybe, and put lime and stuff into it. But like, if you gave me one of those with a hangover, I'd be so happy. The
Pellegrino?
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I like the paper thing on the top of them. It just remind me of being in Italy. So.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first drink?
My first drink. I think, well, yeah, I do actually. It was Heineken, and I didn't like it, and I still don't.
What age were you?
I was around 12 or 13. I was at one of my cousin's 21st in Derry. And it was like, you could just take a little swig of something.
There was no laws up there.
There's no laws at all. And yeah, I was like, and then I just like, that's rotten. Why do people drink that?
Yeah, the first time anybody says beer, I was like, what's up?
Yeah, it's horrible. And I still don't like Heineken. I do like beer, but I don't like Heineken.
Too many memories tied up to being 12 years of age. And do you remember your first time drunk?
I don't actually. I don't remember my first time drunk. I'm sure it was in school. It could have been my...
Hopefully not in school.
No, not in school. No, do you know what? I do remember our... it was at our graduation in 6th year where you had these nights out, and then you had to go into... I was drunk that night. I think I was sick and everything in the toilet. And it was in the Foresters, which was
the Foresters, Jesus, that's going back.
I know. And we had to go into the school the next day for like a ceremony. And I was so hungover, and I'd never had a hangover. You weren't the first one, though. Oh, I'm sure I wasn't the only one. I should say, yeah. But I'd say I was the only one that was green.
School, it's funny.
That was horrible.
There hasn't been a single person yet who's been over 18 the first time they had their drink, and I don't know if we'll get to that either. You walk into a pub. What do you order? If you're not having a glass of wine, if you're ordering a drink, are you going to go for a cocktail?
Depends on the pub. Like if I'm going into say like Mix or Birmingham's, probably a glass of Guinness. If I'm going into it depends, like, it's... You
tailor your drink to the pub?
Yeah, or, like, why I'm there, Yeah.
If you're with the girls, you're more likely to have a cocktail than if you're with the husband.
Yeah, if I'm going in for somewhere into dinner, like, let's say, like, into the Central or somewhere, and I know I'm having dinner, I might just have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Where, it totally depends. And it depends on my mood. What I'm feeling like.
Tequila straight off the start.
Yeah.
And what, do you have favourite pubs in Navan or in anywhere else? Is there anywhere that's special to the two of you?
Yeah, like Mix would be the spot, like. Always.
And do you find it's different since a big past?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It is a big difference. Do you not?
I do. I don't get into it much, but I'm just delighted that it still makes.
Yes.
Because there was a danger it wasn't going to be for a while.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm so happy that it still makes.
I remember seeing...
They've done a great job in it.
Yeah.
Really good.
And it's great to have something like that in the town that if somebody comes to visit, let's go Birmingham. This place is really good.
We brought our mum and dad into it, and they were just delighted.
But it's more of a pint to Guinness down there, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
I haven't been back for a pint in it yet. I don't get out as much as I do, but I can't wait to go. When I do get back, it's going to be one of the first places I go to. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Yeah. Right, we might leave it there. We'll take a little break and we'll have another glass of water. And we will be back in just a sec. Welcome back to the Chopping Block podcast, where my guest is nutritional therapist Joanne Gribbin. Every week I ask my guests for a recipe. It can be something that they cook themselves or something that they love having cooked and served to them. I'll then take the recipe, I'll cook it, and I'll share the whole thing on my Instagram story. Now, I'm not a chef, obviously, so it could go completely wrong. Thankfully, so far it hasn't. But whatever happens, you can watch along on our Instagram story, and we'll put it on our highlights afterwards. So I don't know in advance every week what my guest is going to give me, and this week I'm very curious what Joanne is going to give me. Will it be something super healthy and delicious? Joanne, what have you got?
So I have one of my favourites that I make at home all the time, and it's one of Key's favourites. It's just simple pan-fried chicken.
Lovely.
And it's what goes with it, though. That's lovely. So you get your chicken fillets, pan, rapeseed oil, medium heat, but kind of hot, but not too hot, not burning hot, obviously. Season the chicken really well, salt, pepper, some dried herbs.
Any herbs in particular?
The Italian mixed ones are nice. That's
kind great, isn't it?
It's so handy. You just done. And so you season them well, a good amount of salt, and then you just basically pan fry them till they're like really, really crispy on the outside, but nice and tender inside.
I struggle with cooking chicken.
Do you?
I always overcook it.
Okay.
Because I'm worried about killing people.
Okay. Well, this one you'd kind of, I suppose, it's more. You'd be doing it for 15 minutes probably. Okay. And you kind of have to, I suppose, fiddle around with the heat, because it might get too low, and then you want it to kind of crisp up on the outside.
Okay.
So then you take that off the pan, you leave whatever is on the pan, so it's a nice bit of deglazing situation. So onto that, you'll chop up about 3 spring onions and about 10 or 12-ish cherry tomatoes. Fire them on so the kind of sizzles.
Lovely. And
then a little bit drop of water to deglaze the pan, and then I add in tamari or soy sauce if you don't. Tamari is like a gluten-free soy sauce, so it just gives it that little bit of saltiness, a little bit of kind of richness, and then you might need to add on a little bit extra water depending on how thick that's. But basically the tomatoes start to kind of melt in, and I sometimes use the back of a spoon or a fork and just kind of
squash them. That's the fun part.
Yeah. And then season it, test it obviously, and then fresh basil.
Okay.
Fresh basil goes in on top of it, so you make that sauce, and then I throw the chicken back in, and then just let it cool down. And then on the side of that, I'll generally have either some sort of vegetable, believe it or not.
Can't believe that. What would you go? What would you put?
Green beans are really nice with it, or broccoli, or both, depending on how you're feeling. And then I'll have creamy mashed potatoes.
Okay, talk me through the creamy mashed potatoes. How do you do yours?
Potatoes, regular spuds, roosters usually, because they kind of are nice and fluffy. Balls of flour, as Granny used to say.
Balls of flour, that's brilliant.
So they'll mash really well, nice and smooth. Obviously season them, plenty of butter. I was going to say loads of butter, but plenty of butter. Because I don't use dairy, like milk, I get the flavour, I suppose, from the butter, And then I'll throw in, there's some people out there might go, oh my god, I can't believe you're doing this, but I'll put in some almond milk as well, just to kind of give it that creamy consistency. It doesn't change the flavour at all.
I wouldn't know whether it would work or not.
Yeah, it doesn't, because almond milk tastes of nothing, basically, to be fair. So it just kind of gives it that creamy consistency, and you have that nice buttery potato.
Lovely.
And it's lovely, and a spoon of that on the side.
And what are you drinking with it?
Pardon?
What are you drinking with it?
Water, probably.
Water.
Yeah, like that could be kind of a midweek dinner.
Okay.
Like that could be like a Tuesday or Wednesday.
I noticed a distinct lack of garlic.
Yes, because in that now there would have been originally a bit of garlic, but Q's not mad about garlic, so I don't throw it into everything.
And probably garlic with the soy wouldn't be.
Yeah, it can be maybe a little bit overpowering, because the spring onions work really well with it.
If you're making it for one of the girls, do you lash in the garlic?
I've never made it for one of the girls. Don't say that because they'll look for it now.
Very good. So pan-fried chicken with green beans and soy sauce or
tomatoes.
No,
tamari. Sorry.
Tamari sauce. Okay, that's one for the cupboard. That's actually something I wanted to ask you. I forgot earlier on. I found a lot of healthy dishes. They call for a lot of ingredients that most people wouldn't have. Is that a stumbling block for you? Or do you try and make it as normal as you can?
I try to make things as normal as I can. Yeah. Like, there are things, like, say, for instance, if someone can't have gluten in their diet or for whatever reason.
Then they have to.
Then they have to, yeah. I try not to overcomplicate things because I think, like, I've got loads of recipe books at home and I'll be looking through them going, I don't have that. I don't know where you even get that. I've never even heard of that.
We looked up a nice Donald Skeen recipe and we thought it was great, but then those 3 things at the end and one of them was bee pollen. And I was like, who the hell has bee pollen? Yeah. So that can be a little bit hard with healthy food, I find. Yeah,
and like, is it necessary though for the dish? I always wonder. Sometimes it's not. It's
just a bit wanky.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that on our Insta story. Joanne's grilled chicken with veg. I'll probably put in 7 different veg just to
just to ham it up
on Joanne's good side. Okay, we're coming close to the end now. Let's finish off with your perfect meal, or death row meal, as some people call it. I don't like calling it that because that's depressing. I know when I contacted you first about coming on, in your reply you said you'd be delighted to come on, and I already know my death row dinner.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing this is something you've thought about before.
Oh, yeah.
So as a base, I'm going to give you 3 courses, drinks to match, but you can do whatever you want. You can put in 10 courses. You can put in 1 course. You can have just an omelette if you want. You can have drinks. You can have no drinks. You can have digestives, aperitifs, gin and tonics, cocktails, glasses of Guinness. Anything you want. You can have something nutritionally balanced or something completely indulgent, or it could be both at the same time. The choices are literally endless. So, Joanne, what's your perfect menu?
I suppose.
Are you having a drink start?
If we're going to be all fancy, why not? I do like an Aperol Spritz as an aperitif.
Seems very on trend now. That's been mentioned a couple times already.
Yeah, they're lovely. I do like them. I had my first one a couple of years ago on holidays, and I really like them. And
they finally filtered out to Ireland.
Yeah. I think it's quite grapefruity, and generally I don't like grapefruit, but I like an Aperol Spritz.
Okay.
Or a very, very, very cold glass of white wine.
Okay.
Like a Pinot Grigio. That's nice.
As cold as can be.
As cold, like ice cold.
Yeah, my wife always finds that there's never a cold enough wine in a bar.
Yes, I totally agree. It has to be freezing.
And then you have to put ice in, and you don't want to do that, do you?
Yeah.
So you want the minute the wine goes into the glass, there's condensation.
Yes, exactly. That's gorgeous.
Very good. Okay, so you've got your glass of wine in your hand. What are you going to...
And then my mom makes chicken liver pate every Christmas. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. So good. And I've tried to make it myself. It's just not the same.
No.
And I use this exact same recipe as her. She's told me exactly what to do.
It's the love she puts into
it. And it's just
family.
not the same. I don't know what it is. But that is lovely. And we have it every Christmas. But we also have like prawn cocktail.
Okay.
The
classic cocktail.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise and ketchup.
Yeah. No, well, the Mario sauce, but I know that's all it is though.
It's the same,
yeah. But my brother Henry, he can't eat prawns. He's kind of allergic to them, so Mom always has.
Kind of.
Yeah, he'll sneak a few. Like
kind of diabetes.
He'll definitely sneak a few of them. So he starts getting an itchy tongue. Like he is fully allergic to them. But so Mom always has the chicken liver pate for him. But like I'm like, I would rather not. So we always have a bit of it. And but she makes a couple of bowls of it, like.
And Melba toast.
Melba toast, yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah. There's something really old school about Melba toast.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay, so you've had your.
So that's the starter.
You've had 2 starters. You've had.
Oh yeah.
Chicken liver pate and prawn cocktail.
Oh yeah, well, I'd leave out the prawn cocktail. I'd go with the chicken liver. Yeah.
It's your meal. You can do whatever you want. There's no limits here. Yeah. And you're having a glass of cold white wine with that.
Cold white wine, yeah.
And then you're going to finish that. What are you going to
finish that? And then my favorite dinner is again something my mom makes, and it's stuffed chicken. So it's not a chicken, like it's not a chicken stuffed. We call it stuffed chicken though, but it's chicken breast with stuffing on top, baked.
Okay. What's so good about it?
The stuffing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Is it a typical bread and onion stuffing?
It's my granny used to make the same when Mom makes it, and I try to make it again. Same recipe. I can't do it. It's not the same. But it's breadcrumbs, onion, grated, and loads of butter, and seasoning, and parsley and the usual. No sage in it now.
No sage, so it's not parsley. A Christmassy stuffing.
No, okay. But it's always the same stuffing at Christmas. It's the same recipe that goes into the turkey.
But no sage.
No sage, but parsley.
And what are you going to drink with it?
Probably a nice red. Maybe, and I like light reds. Like I like Malbec. That's light-ish, isn't it?
Depends on the.
It depends, I suppose. I like Pinot Noir as well.
Yeah, Pinot Noir is great, especially with chicken.
Yeah.
And are you having veg with your?
Veg. So Mom makes. She'll have a few roasties.
I want an invite to your mum. She sounds like she knows what she's doing.
She does. A few roasties, roast potatoes. Nice and crispy. And she does these carrots where she kind of cooks them in a little bit of water and butter. I know there's a theme here, but butter.
Butter is amazing.
It is amazing. So they're kind of they're soft, but they're nice and buttery, and they're also a little bit crunchy. You know that way. I do that, but I put star anise in it, and it's lovely.
Yeah.
And it kind of flavours them. It's really nice.
I bought a bag of star anise about 5 years ago, and I'd say I've used about 5 out of them. So
you should
I need something to use.
You should do it with the carrots. You kind of slice them real thin.
Yeah.
And a big.
So is it rings?
Or you can do them like sideways.
Okay.
So they look a little bit fancy.
Very good.
And then a little bit butter, a small bit of water, and then put the lid on and star anise, and it's lovely. And pepper, black pepper. And then there's another side dish that Mom does where there's like leeks. She sautés them really soft, then puts in frozen peas and crispy bacon. Unbelievable.
Why don't we use more leeks?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've only discovered leeks in the past 2 years.
They're so nice.
Oh, leeks are amazing.
So
and if
nice.
you do them with a little bit of parmesan, or what you're doing there, which I'm definitely going to talk to your mum about, because that sounds right up my street.
And then gravy, of course.
Yeah. So basically, you just want your mum to come and cook you all these things in the front of you. Okay, so are you going to have? Are you going to move on to dessert?
Dessert, yeah. So a dessert, I suppose I don't always. I wouldn't. If I'm out for dinner, I generally don't bother with the dessert because starters and mains is always enough for me, and I'm done. After that point. But we were years ago stayed in Brook Lodge.
Lovely.
And the Strawberry Tree.
Place.
Yeah, the Strawberry Tree restaurant, and oh my god, it was gorgeous. But the dessert, I'll never forget it. And I'm constantly looking for it again. So when I see this on the menu, I'll always try, maybe try, it depends.
Maybe you try it.
Yeah. It's vanilla creme brulee with hazelnut tuile. It was delicious. Unbelievable.
And if it's Brook Lodge, it's probably their own vanilla and their own hazelnut and their own eggs and everything.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Nice cracky top.
Yeah.
I love when you hit it for the first time.
Yeah, so good. But that's my favourite. I love creme brulee.
Lovely. And what would you drink with it? Are you a dessert wine fan? Would you like port?
No, I don't. I don't like those. They're too heavy for me. I'd probably get a cocktail, espresso martini.
Very good.
That's where I'd
combine the coffee.
With the yeah, exactly.
Very good. And would there be room for a cheese board?
There's always room for a cheese board. 100% always. And frozen grapes.
I've only discovered that they're unbelievable.
Palate cleanser with your cheese board is brilliant.
What cheeses? Say you have to pick 4 cheeses.
4 cheeses. I don't even
Only
know
4.
if I know 4 cheeses. Definitely a brie.
Okay.
I love baked camembert as well. With some nice
in the wooden
and nice sticky like bread and stuff. I love the garlic, the boursin one. Yeah. The garlic and herb one.
Lovely.
Garlic.
More garlic, yeah.
And sure,
a nice stinky cheddar. Cheese?
No, I don't really like. I like strong cheddars, but I don't like blue.
Yeah.
I just don't like the.
You should get on the blue train. Blue is good.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it in a soup now.
Yeah.
You see, like broccoli and blue cheese.
Yeah,
I like it like that, but I wouldn't be able to have it like on a cracker.
Okay.
Even if I had like loads of grapes there, I still couldn't go with it.
And you've had your dessert. You've had a little bit of cheese. You've had your espresso martini. You're done. Are you going to have a last drink to finish off? Another espresso martini?
Maybe another, or maybe a margarita. Depending on how tonight's going. But yeah, that's ideal.
Very good. And I noticed your mammy didn't make your dessert. What's wrong with your mum's dessert?
Yeah, do you know what? A lot.
There's a reason
there's an infamous lemon. Was it lemon cake night? Oh my god. Mom forgot the sugar basically.
I think she's done enough that she can be allowed to forget the sugar.
She does everything else really well. She's okay to buy the dessert. I'll make the cake if it has to happen.
Very good. And you think maybe she's listening to you too much when she forgot the sugar.
Yeah. She's just been trying to be healthier.
Okay, that's us wrapped up. A great last meal. Yeah, gotta talk to your mum. I know your mum actually, so yeah, I'll be talking to her, even if she just wraps them up for me and bring it in. So thanks a million, Joanne.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking me.
For everybody out there, Joanne's website is lifeforcenutrition.ie. She's on Instagram as @Lifeforce Nutrition, and she's on Facebook too. So if you do feel you need a bit of a kick to reset and start again, now's your chance. Get in touch. You can also find out more info about the Beat the Bulge program by visiting 121fitness.ie, and I highly recommend it if you feel like you're in a bit of a rut. It is a fantastic way to get yourself back on track. Thanks for listening to us to the end. If you like what you've heard, subscribe wherever you get your pods, Spotify, iTunes, you know them all by now, and YouTube as well. And if you want to leave us a positive review or share us on your social media, we'd be very grateful. Help get the word out. We're across all the social medias. Just search for The Chopping Block and you'll find us. Remember, Joanne's chicken dish is now on my Insta story with 7 million different types of vegetables. If you want to give it a try, cook it, take a photo, share it, tag us in it, tag Joanne in it, and we'll show it off for you on our social media feeds. So that's all for me. Thanks again, Joanne. Very enjoyable. I'm going to eat loads of veg and drink loads of water. And to you out there, farewell, stay safe, and we will chat to you next time on The Chopping Block.